like in reference to what you were talking about with Joe, like managing egos, managing kids these days,
Mhm.
like managing players to come in. Is it like obviously different players need different coaching styles. Like some guys need an arm around the shoulder, some guys need to
Mhm.
get yelled
Mhm.
at, whatever it is. Some guys are self starters, some guys aren't, whatever it is. I wonder. I mean, that team was so ridiculously stacked with talent. Like you listed all those names. These are all like legends in the game that we're thinking about. But
Mhm.
like, do you think that the better the player is, the more you should leave him alone? Like, do you think that the Jason Tatums and the Jaylen Browns of the world are going to be more hands off coaching? You can't really tell him how to play basketball in today's day and age, right?
I think in today's age, it might be more hands on,
Mm,
considering that the things that you have to do and the way the game has changed. I think it is. It's a lot more. People say, "Well, it's not as physical." Well, the players, the athletes, are a lot more physical. The Jason Tatum's at 6'9", playing the point like Magic did.
yeah.
Those things don't happen. They evolve. So yeah, Jaylen Brown, if you see him, his workouts, he's kickboxing and the arms look like he's, Troy or somebody, Greek gods. So and
Yeah.
during the 80s, the thing that they didn't want you to do, they didn't want you to, this will shock you, they didn't want you to lift weights because they thought that weights would throw your shot off. So I look at Tatum and Brown before a game, they're lifting, they're lifting weights. After the game, they lift weights. And it's just like something we would not have done during my particular era because people frowned on that because they thought if your muscles got too big, you weren't going to have the flexibility. Now we know it's just the opposite because those muscles, the way they grow and the way you use them, you'd be so much better. So nutrition, the way the game is played, the analytics, there's so many things that are different. My Jason Tatum story goes like this. He'd been here for probably about a year, and he would speak to me like, hi, but I know he didn't really know who I was. And he comes out one game a year later, and he starts screaming. He's looking at me going, cornbread, cornbread, cornbread. And I said, what's wrong with you, dude? He said, I just saw that 30 for 30. I saw it twice, Lakers Celtics. You were a bad motherfucker back then. I said, hey, who knew? So I think the history of the game sometimes with our younger players, they don't know the history or they don't see it as much. And I love when I see somebody walking down the street and they might recognize me, but I love it when there was a guy told me, said, yeah, I know you. I have you on 2K. I play you're that Dark Max and you score all the points. I said, really? He said, yeah, I know who you are. And so it just is changed in such a big way.
It's interesting that you say that because, you know, I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but I do get a little old manny about how friendly all the players are with each other. You know, like
Oh,
the Jason Tatums of the world, the Jaylen Browns of the world. Everybody's, high fiving, dabbing each
no,
other up after the game. Everybody's hanging out, whatever. I didn't see you and James Worthy going to dinner. Is
no,
is all I'm
never
saying.
would, never would.
I don't know how you guys feel about each other
Never
now.
would. Even today, I can't even imagine having dinner with somebody who was with the Lakers.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do that. Changing jerseys, guys, hey, yo, man, give me a call. Here's my number. Your agent's a number. It reeks for me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about last year, and that's why I think the Celtics it got even better, was watching mean Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
The meaner he was, the more aggressive he was, the better this team. And then even with this year, I've seen a little nasty Tatum. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, what the hell is going on here?
You
Tatum
think
was,
it's the Olympics? He's got a
yeah,
little chip on his
it
shoulder.
was, I remember them, it was him and somebody else, they were wrestling for a loose ball.
Oh, a few games ago, I know you saw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I think
God,
it was Indian. Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
it was like nothing. And he wanted the ball. He's pulling it. The other guys pulling it. They're going back. I say, whoa, Jason Tatum, come on. I love it. Me, Jaylen. Come on.
Well, that's my problem too. Because I'm like, yo, like people are thinking Tatum is soft because obviously, you know, Brandon Jennings came out and said, oh, we think Tatum is the softest, you know, superstar in Celtics history, which I think is insane to even say because he's putting up numbers that some guys haven't put up, and that's not an opinion, that's a fact. And it's unbelievable to me that they could even, you know, act like that in that moment. But it is what it is. But I totally agree. I think that the more angry they play, the better they become. And I think that could set them apart. Like, obviously, we just seen, you know, Golden State have a run for the last 10 years where Draymond was getting in your face. Sometimes you get in the face of a teammates. But he was going to get into your face and say, hey, like, you're not punking us tonight, right? So that's we need more of that in today's NBA.